they got their ass kicked too. America's been there many years, and I ask myself why we don't learn from history where empires go to die. They say it's terrorism, that's political malarkey. Just follow where the money goes to a corporate oligarchy. The food crops they once grew with a plow and a hoe.
Night Dreams Talk Radio, After Dark, wants to give a big shout out to all the truckers that listen to our show. Night Dreams Talk Radio Network brings you the World Paranormal News with James Creechbaum. Now, the latest news.
This is Night Dreams Talk Radio Network News, and I'm James Creechbaum. The engine of consciousness may have been found in in some monkeys, macaques. Scientists have identified an area of the brain that seems to be strongly connected to consciousness. In a recent study, scientists at the University of Wisconsin-Madison analyzed the brains of monkeys to look for clues. What they discovered were two key pathways associated with consciousness and a region of the brain, an engine of consciousness, that seemed to get those pathways going. By stimulating this region, they were able to effectively jumpstart the monkeys awake. While it is unlikely that any one part of the brain is entirely responsible for a conscious state, the findings do suggest that some areas, such as the central lateral thalamus, play a key role. Men in black helicopters. Numerous alien abductees speak of black helicopters flying over their homes, and sometimes at perilously low levels. The black helicopters are also seen at the sites of cattle mutilations also. As to who is flying them, well, that's a controversial issue. The most likely scenario is that the vast majority are flown by so-called black ops. Now, those who encounter the real men in black often speak of being rendered into a strange, almost dreamlike state, something that so often prevents them from taking action against the MIB. A firm is in a new bid to remove Titanic artifacts. An underwater salvage company is seeking legal permission to retrieve objects from inside the wreck. Given that so many people died when the vessel sank, however, there have long been calls for access to the wreck to be limited in the interest of respecting the victims of their families. Even so, some firms have, they've been keen to venture down to the seafloor in an attempt to retrieve valuable artifacts from the vessel and the debris field surrounding it. Now, one company is seeking permission to retrieve the Marconi wireless telegraph machine that was used to send the ship's distress calls during the final hours. Currently, it is not permitted to cut holes or to take items directly from inside the wreck. Whether the judge will decide to make an exception in this case, however, remains to be seen. Flat earther Mike Hughes dies in a rocket mishap. The self-taught rocket scientist and daredevil was killed during an attempt to prove that the Earth is flat. The launch, which took place outside of Barstow in San Bernardino County, California, started off promisingly enough, but things took a turn for the worse when the parachute ripped off during flight. With nothing to break the rocket's fall, Hughes plummeted to the ground and died on impact. NASA suspects Mars life could be hiding underground. This summer, NASA plans to launch the most sophisticated Mars rover in history, a 2,260-pound behemoth which, if all goes well, will eventually send samples from the red planet back to the Earth. A key hope is that the rover will gather new evidence of life, alive or extinct, on our planetary neighbor. But the Space.com attended a recent conference about a potential astrobiology on Mars and found that almost all attendees think that if there's life there, it's probably deep underground. No casket, no cost. Tennesseans go back to natural burial. The state established a narrow ridge as a community cemetery, and it has operated as such ever since. It's not like most cemeteries out there. It's a green cemetery, which its operators say means people buried there can't be embalmed or placed in a casket. Right now, only about 4% of Americans plan on having a natural burial like what's offered by Narrow Ridge. But as Americans become more eco-conscious, Narrow Ridge said that could change. Many people don't know they have another option, and they find meaning in being buried in a way that doesn't negatively impact the planet. Natural burial. And it can be a way to honor the earth and the cycles of life and death. Next news break, top of the hour.
Roof of Broadcasting Building. I'm speaking from the roof of Broadcasting Building, New York City. The bells you hear are ringing to warn the people to evacuate the city as Martians approach. Estimated in the last 2 hours, 3 million people have moved out along the roads to the north. Hutchison River Parkway is still kept open for motor traffic. Floyd bridges to Long Island hopelessly jammed. All communication with Jersey Shore closed 10 minutes ago.
Coming to you from some far point station, like a cosmic tumbleweed, both north and south of the Pleiades. Here's your host, Gary Anderson.
And that is me down at the Gown Pound in beautiful Gig Harbor. Now, one thing about Mike, on his steam-powered rocket, James, it's come out that his friend and publicist said he did not believe the world was flat. That was a gimmick to get people to pay attention to him. It was all done for the thrill of him being a daredevil. Just wanted to clear that up.
Okay.
So, but I can tell you, when that rocket took off, when it hit about 500 feet, his parachute tore off the craft. Could you imagine? I don't know if he knew it happened or what. That is bad. That was no backup system. When you jump out of an airplane, you have a backup chute. And that's just the thought of him only having one parachute, let alone, poorly designed, evidently, to, open up at 500 feet while it was still increasing in speed. But could you imagine the thrill, the G-force of going up, okay? You can't have any control of anything at that point. But then all of a sudden you come to the point where it stops and then it pivots and drops down. And you realize at that point that the parachute hasn't opened. Those few precious seconds you have there could be hours. Because what is time?
That's true. And I did read that he did it when he did it before. He had two parachutes, and even though he had the two parachutes, the landing was still kind of rough, and he got some back injuries out of it. So, yeah, the impact is something else. But boy, that ride coming down, that would give me a heart attack.
No, remember, it's a stop that kills you.
Okay.
And I'm not trying to be bad. Anyway, we're trying to get Jeff here on the phone here on Night Dreams Talk Radio to talk about his UFO videos and what he has captured and what other people have been putting out on the internet. So we're going to see if he picks up his phone, and we'll go at it. At this point, he's not picking up. Hey, Jeff, if you're listening to the show, pick up the phone line. Okay, hopefully we got him. Hey, Jeff, are you there?
2049.
Okay, well, he didn't pick up. That is scary. That happens occasionally. We might not have a guest. Well, we'll try it again. But could you imagine the thought of coming down at that high speed? It would be Well, I don't know. Braver than I could ever be. I can tell you that. Well, let's see if we got him on. Are you there, Jeff? Hello? Yeah, this is interesting. Anyway, do you have another news story while I try to get him on?
Yeah, I got another news story here. A family hears music voices coming from the walls. Now, an Illinois family has been plagued by what sound like radio broadcasts coming from the walls at night. The phenomena, which has been occurring on and off for the last 6 years, has left the family desperate for answers, and even local authorities have been unable to fully explain it. The anomalous sounds manifest seemingly randomly from the walls of the house, despite the complete absence of speakers of any other audio equipment. Now, he also heard what seemed to be commercial from Christian radio from an AM station, suggesting that the mystery audio was in fact a transmission from a nearby group or radio towers. Now, keen to solve the enigma, the station actually sent out an engineer to investigate. And the engineer goes on to say, I got to be honest with you. He told the homeowner, I don't know what is acting as a speaker. There is nothing I can explain or of why you're actually hearing it. So that was a little story that came out recently.
Okay, do you have another one?
Yeah, there's one on the coronavirus. Let's see, I got it here somewhere. Oh, okay. Coronavirus updates, and here's some more updates. Italy reports 6 dead, 229 infected as Europe braces for the coronavirus. Italy reports its sixth coronavirus death as it becomes worst hit country in Europe. The number of coronavirus deaths in China nears 2,600. The Dow plunges by more than 900 points on fears of coronavirus. 2 more doctors die of coronavirus in China. More than 800 confirmed cases, 8 dead in South Korea. As the number of cases in Italy have spiked, the country's stock exchange recorded sizable losses, dropping more than 4% at one point.
Well, do another one because I'm still trying to get a hold.
Okay. Here's your chance to design an equipment for NASA's proposed Venus rover and win $15,000. NASA wants your help creating new technology for a mission to a hellish planet. The space agency is trying to explore the surface of Venus with a rover, something that has never been accomplished before. But NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory is working on a mission to the Fury planet surface using an automation rover for extreme environments to explore. Now, that's where you can come in, and NASA needs help designing a sensor that will prevent the rover from running into rocks, steep terrain, and crevices. NASA recognizes that good ideas can come from anywhere, and that prize competitions are a great way to engage the public's interest and integrity and make space exploration possible for everyone.
Okay, well, I guess what?
Your call
We're evidently
message system 4.
We're not getting a hold of our guests tonight. That is not very good.
Yeah, that's strange. You would think they would want to come on and tell their story and share their stuff, you know.
Well, if we don't get a hold of them here in the next couple of minutes, I'll have to put a replay on because I have no guests lined up for tonight. I also was trying to find a guest real quick to back up. I have no idea what's happened.
Yeah, that is strange. You're definitely getting through. Maybe he's got some storms where he's at or something. I don't know.
I don't know about that. I know that I contacted him through email and everything else here in just the last couple minutes ago. And I don't know. Maybe he, I don't know.
Yeah, that's weird. It's not coming through.
Yeah. And let me double check here. I'm looking and verify. It's the right number. So I have no idea what's going on. I'll give it one more